I'm Cantor Lizzie Shamash, and it's really great to see you here. We'll practice together. We're going to do about 5 minutes of warm up, and then I'll teach a little bit of Torah for this week and weave it into the rest of our practice. We'll stop at about quarter of and have Q&A for 15 minutes. So thanks for being here in this week of Vayetze, this week of Thanksgiving, if you're in the US, and 7th of Kislev, we're getting on half a moon. So check that out too. Okay, my friends, props for today, a blanket, please, and anything you might like for standing poses where we're folding forward, whether it's a chair or 2 blocks, or you can always use your thighs or shins too, so don't worry if you don't have props, but that's the story. So let's get started. As always, please, you do you, whatever you need. Listen to my words as a guide, but they're not the whole story. Your body and your breath and your level of energy at this time will inform your practice. So please take it as you need. Let's begin sitting. We're going to explore some movement of the spine in all directions. So you can sit up on a blanket. I'm making a block covered by a blanket. That can be nice if you want a little more height. Feel free to start on a chair. And just find for this moment the grounding of your 2 sitting bones. The pelvis is stable. And feel a sense that your sitting bones, which are effectively your connection to earth, whether it's chair, block, wherever you are. We'll get into the Torah text, but the Torah tells us that that ladder, that sulam, was mutzav artza, grounded toward the down direction. So you can feel that sense of down. And the other end of the ladder, Rosho Magia Hashamayma. Its head, literally, extending, lifting up toward the heavens. So that sense, we can just find it right away. Anytime we take our seat of Magia Artsa, Mutsav Artsa, Rosho Magia Hashamayma. Feel that sense of the spine extending in 2 directions. Widen the collarbones and drop the shoulder blades. Just feel the beauty, that miracle of the spine. And the Torah says the angels, malachim, olim v'yordim bo, going up and going down. So we can think of movement up the spine, down the spine, and the sense of angels as central nervous system, central command to the rest of the body, are like angels telling our organs, telling our muscles, telling our body what to do. Let's move into cat and cow, little arching and curling as we inhale, coming to the front of the sitting bones, taking the shoulders back, the elbows back, gazing up, and as we exhale, curling. And continuing this way in your own breath. Inhaling and arching, exhaling and curling at whatever tempo you would like. It can be a little movement or a lot of movement. And feel the way the muscles respond just to this little bit of arch and curl. Beautiful, life-giving movement. Just starting to deepen presence into the body right now. Notice if your mind is scattered, little all over the place as we begin. No judgment about that. Just bringing the mind back again and again to the matter at hand, movement and breath. And then come back to neutral. And again, reestablish that sense of mutzav artsa, grounded, down, Rosho Magia Hashamayma, extended up. And from this extension in two directions, let's think about a side bend. So taking the right fingertips and walking them out to the right, inhaling the left arm as much as your shoulder will permit and extending into a side bend. So maybe you have elbow bent or keep the arm down. Just see what you need for your shoulders. Really thinking of this side bend as a spinal movement, up and over, and then inhale, up, windmill, over, walk those left fingertips out a little bit. And as we exhale, bringing the right arm over, side bending. Couple breaths here. And then a little bit of flow back and forth. So inhale up and exhale, side bend. Inhale up and exhale, side. Whatever tempo your breath is taking you could be different than mine. A couple of times. Inhaling, windmilling, make it a verb, why not? And exhaling and side bending, and feel the sense of extension in both directions, even as we approach that side bend. Good, and then come back up to center. Maybe extend both arms if that's available to you. Lift both sides of the waists, the body. Another inhale, and then exhale, twist it to the right. And just feel the lift, vertebra to vertebra, before you engage the twist. And on your next inhale, inhale up through center, lift up as you press down, and exhale, spin to the left. And a couple of times, again, with one breath per movement. So inhale, center, and exhale, right. Inhale, center, and exhale, left. And really considering pressing down with the sitting bones, pressing up with the crown of the head as you go. Feeling the beauty and the elegance of your own spine. And then come back to center as you're ready. Interlace the fingers any which way you like. Turn the palms to face out and bring them overhead. And just take a little circle overhead. Kind of widen the elbows as you do so. So feel you could you're sort of could pull apart the hands as the elbows widen and just make a circle above your head. The rest of you stays very still, and this circle goes very slow. Just opening up a little bit the shoulders, elbows are bent out to the sides, and then go the other direction. Palms are facing up. The slower you go, the juicier it becomes. So really encourage yourself to slow it down. Good. And then take those palms and to the extent possible, begin to extend them up towards the ceiling. Again, really nice and slow and slightly on a diagonal so you don't tax your shoulders too much. So just go a little bit, pause, go a little bit more, pause, draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades down the back as you send the palms up, right? So the shoulder blades, mutsav artsa, the palms, magia hashamayma. You slow it down, you see, oh boy, the two sides aren't even. It can be really challenging. And then come on down, shake it out a little in the shoulders, and switch the cross of the interlace so that it's probably the unhabitual way, might feel a little weird. And we'll do the same thing. Stay easy in your shoulders, stay easy in your neck and jaw. Send the palms forward and then up. Just maybe one circle in each direction, really slowly. Torso is still. And then slowly, slowly, laat, laat, send the palms up. It's not so easy, is it? Like you find a spot where maybe you really sort of glitches and then you can kind of come back and start over again. So that establishment of this sulam, this ladder of the spine, grounding down and extending up. And then from here, release the hands, wiggle the fingertips a little bit, and open and stretch out so far from side to side. Feel the width of the body. Feel the height of the spine as you bring the arms down. Beautiful. I'll share a few words and then we'll continue with our practice. So, as I said, today's the 7th of Kislev and it's Parshat Vayetze. Jacob is on the run. Yaakov is on the run from Esav, who wants to kill him because he stole his birthright. It's like we're in the middle of a Netflix drama. So here's the next episode, right? And Jacob is on the run. He leaves Beersheba, and of course his mom says, "Go to my brother. Go to your uncle Lavan." So he's going towards Haran. He places a stone under his head. Um, Vaikach me'avnei hamakom, he took from the stones of the place. Vayasem me'rashotav, and he put them under his head. Vayishkav b'makom hahu, and he laid down in this place. Just in this one verse alone, makom 3 times, and we'll see it more. So makom is place. Makom is also a name for God. Hamakom. It's very interesting in the language when we look at it in the Hebrew. Vayachalom, and he dreamed, vehine sulam, and here's the ladder, mutzav artza, verosho magia hashamaima, and extending up also, grounded and extending, vehine malache Elohim, olim veyordim bo, and here are angels of God, messengers of God, going up and going down. So we spoke about that a little bit. And God appears to Jacob and makes him the same promise as to his father and his grandfather. He says, I'm with you, anochi imach, and I'm going to protect you. Ushmarticha, asher telech, wherever you'll go, and I won't leave you until I've done what I promised for you. So you have safety here with me. That's important. And Jacob wakes up, yeah, and he says, Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh. Again, makom. God was here. Wow, God was here in this place. V'anochi lo yadati, and I didn't know it. I didn't know it. And he goes on to say, Vayira, he was afraid, or he was moved, he was stirred. Vayomer, and he said, Ma norah hamakom hazeh, how awesome is this place. En zeh ki im beit Elohim. This is none other than the abode of God. V'zeh hasha'ar, v'zeh sha'ar hashamayim, and this is the gateway to heaven. So wow, all of that. God was in this place I didn't know, right? So we're going to work today on this idea of, continue to work, really just one idea, on this idea of the spine as sulam, grounded down and moving up. And then from that kind of presence, we come to, God was here. I didn't realize. I wasn't paying so much attention, and now I am. And I'm here and I see this place is amazing. This place, this very place where I dwell, it's the abode of God. I want to just share a couple of comments from Rabbi Alan Lu Zichrono Livracha from his book Be Still and Get Going, kind of seminal book of Jewish mindfulness, amazing book, published about 20 years ago. He says to us, pages 23, 24, we are certainly mutzav artza, we, bound both physically and existentially to our earthliness. Yet at the same time, our heads, our magia hashamayma, persistently reaching heavenward on every conceivable level. We are rooted on this earth, yet something in us aspires to heaven. Something in us is always reaching beyond the limits of our earthliness. Then a couple pages later, he says, Achen yesh Adonai, God was in this place and I didn't know. So it is, he says, so it is in meditation. Or in yoga, same practice, this practice of attention with intention. We inhabit this very place. We enter into intimate relationship with it. We inhabit the most basic elements of our present tense reality, our breath, our body, and we fill these things with consciousness until they glow, until they become vibrant and radiant. So let's look in our practice today for our grounding and our extension and breathe into that integrity, into that equanimity that we can find there. Let us come to standing. And we'll just start with a little bit of rolling down and up the spine, right? Olim v'yordim, or yordim v'olim. So find a stance with the feet hip width or even a little wider if you would like. Just find an easy stance. Take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, chin to chest, and begin to roll down the spine, drawing the belly in to protect the low back. Come down as little or as much as you'd like. You could stop at the thighs. You could stop the hands to the shins, or you can come all the way down, crown of the head toward the floor, let the hands go. And take your time. You don't need to be in sync with me. But what you'll do at a certain point is take an inhale, fill the ribs. And as you exhale, press the feet to the floor, Mutsav Artsa, and start to roll up the spine, curling up, stacking one vertebra on the next. Take your time, slowly, slowly, just building up the spine. And when you come to the top, pause, take a breath in, and on the exhale, chin to chest, start to roll down. You can take it over the course of several breath cycles, and anywhere you want to stop, if you want to pause, go ahead. You can breathe in again and continue the roll down. Same goes for the way up. And again, when you get to the bottom, take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, draw the belly in. Let the tailbone be heavy. Let the hands be heavy. And build it up. Coming back up and just find an easy mountain pose. Again, that sense of Mutsav Artsa with the feet. Ground the feet. Ground the four corners of the feet. Inner heel, outer heel. Mound of the big toe. Cross to the mound of the little toe. Push against the floor. Feel like you can really push the floor away. Down direction. And then take a hand to the crown of your head and give a little gentle pressure with the palm towards the crown of your head and lift the crown of your head up into your hand. Look at that. We can grow maybe a half inch. Aspirational. So pressing down with the feet and up with the crown of the head, we notice that the core automatically engages. Torso lengthens, and then you can remove the hand, but leave that sense of pressing a little bit in both directions. Okay, and we're going to take this now to another plane by taking a fold over. You can place blocks or chair, or you can just bring your hands to your shins when we land there. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale, press the feet down, draw the elbows back, lift the heart up. So first we extend, and then exhale, fold from the crease of the hips, not from the waist, but the crease of the hips, tops of the thighs, and let the hands come to rest. So we're basically doing a flat back, long spine, head and neck in line. Right, so the gaze of the eyes is just wherever they land according to where your spine, where your neck is. Be here, roll the thighs in slightly, and feel again, we're in a different plane here now, right? It's not earth and sky, it's horizontal across the room, but the tailbone, the sitting bones, the pubic bone extending back, the crown of the head extending forward. Find this length, draw the navel in, lift up on the kneecaps, lift up on the quadriceps, on the thighs. Good. Maybe feeling some sensation starting in the calves and the backs of the legs. And you can keep any amount of bend on the knees that you wish. Right? If it's too much, just bend your knees a little bit. We never want to lock out our knees either. And then as you're ready, take your hands to your hips and lift up, come up. Good. And then pause and find mountain pose. Again, feet pressing down, crown of the head pressing up. See if there's any new experience of presence to be gained here. What do you find? What do you notice? As always, just investigating, inquiring with a curious and non-judgmental mind. Let's take it again. Hands to the hips, inhale, lift the center of the chest up as you press the feet down, and then exhale, fold forward. Place the hands, lengthen the spine, two directions. Draw the thighs back in space slightly. Good. So as you feel that lengthening in two directions, perhaps you feel some kind of hollowing out of the abdomen, lengthening and opening of the abdomen. And then from here, from this length, this beautiful, exquisite length of the spine, if you'd like to take a full fold down, go for it. Right? So either staying in that flat back position or folding over. Remaining dynamic, pressing into the feet, lifting up on the kneecaps, lifting up on the quads. And now, tailbone is extending toward the sky. Crown of the head is extending down. So we flipped it, haven't we? And then when you're ready, take the hands to the hips. Inhale and come on up. Exhale and once again ground the feet. Find mountain pose. Stable, rooted, and extended. Right, so you can find whichever words work best for you. If it's grounded or rooted or pressing down, play with that for yourself to see what makes the most sense. And also in the up direction, what makes the most sense? Is it reaching or is it lifting? You know, like language does matter. We want to be precise to the extent that it's precise for ourselves in our learning. Okay, so take the legs wide. We're going to take a look at triangle pose. And again, today's emphasis here is the spine, two directions of the spine. So let's turn to the right, left toes in, right toes out. Again, you can have a block behind you or chair behind you, or you can just take the hand down the leg. Let's inhale the arms shoulder height if that's comfortable for you. Exhale, shift the hips and lengthen the spine and take the hand down. Top arm, maybe it's coming up, maybe it's hanging out on the hip. You decide what works for you. Good, right? And don't let the head drop. The head, again, head, neck, extension of the spine. So wherever you are, this is one line, the spine, right? If your triangle pose is here, one line. If your triangle pose is here, one line, so that we don't break it at the waist, at the neck, at the head, lengthening. And then press into the feet. That's important as we inhale and come up. Turn. We'll go two times with this pose, so we don't have to stay too long. Turn the feet. Inhale the arms, and then exhale, come into the pose. So same thing. Notice as you come over, where's that spot where you sort of cheat, where the body breaks, right? We, sure, anyone can come and touch the ankle, touch the floor, whatever, but what we want is a long spine with the legs straight. So that's really what limits how far we come down in this pose. And then you can go to your edge and then kind of come out a little bit and see about lengthening the spine a little more. Press into the feet, inhale to come up, and then let's switch sides. Inhale the arms up, shoulder height, and exhale, come into the pose. Take a breath or two here. Inhale to come up. Turn the feet. Inhale the arms. Exhale into the pose. Good. So what's pressing down, right? We can think actually in this plane of gravity, Mutsav Artsa is the feet. Magia Shamaima is the hand, the top hand. And we can also think of this plane. Mutsav Artsa is an extension really this way of the tailbone. And Magia Shamaima is this way with the crown of the head. Press into the feet, inhale, and come up. Nicely done. Come on back, heel to the feet, come back to mountain pose. The feet can be together or hip width apart. And once again, connect with that sense of the down and the up, the tailbone and the crown. And when you find those two directions, how does the breath begin to, or how is the breath affected, if at all, right? Does the breath reorient itself in any way? Does it become easier, fuller? Can you sense any change in the breath? We can pay attention to that. And then we'll take the legs wide again. We're going to come to side angle. Left toes in, right toes out. Inhale the arms shoulder height. Exhale, come to warrior two in any amount. Could be a little, could be more. Forearm to thigh and top arm over the shoulder allows. Good. Same thing, tailbone, crown of the head, one direction. One line, two directions, extending in two directions. Inhale to come up. Switch sides. Inhale and exhale. Warrior two, forearm, arm coming over. Press into the feet, inhale, come up. I just want to kind of keep us in short holds and keeping moving. So we'll take the same thing. Second time. Inhale, exhale. Couple of breaths. Inhale. Turn the feet. Inhale. Exhale into the pose. Good. So we can think tailbone, crown, and then we can think the extensions of them back to the back foot and up to the top fingertips. Press into the feet, inhale and come up. Guess what's next? Mountain pose. Right? So continuously coming back between poses and just find that line of the Mutsav Artsa and the Magaya Shamaima. Take a scan through your own body. And go through your own necessary alignment cues as you pay attention to your own body and space. Soften the throat and soften the jaw. Great, we're going to take the legs wide one more time and do a wide-legged forward bend. So if you have props that you're using, you can put them in front of you if you need them. Take the legs wide, outer edges of the feet in line with the mat or even a little bit turned in with the toes. Hands to the hips. Good. Before we come over, let's feel it in this plane. Tailbone, the soles of the feet extending down, the crown of the head extending up. Manora hamakom hazeh. How awesome is this place? Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, fold forward. Hands to the blocks or to the chair or to the floor. Long spine. In your mind's eye, take yourself through the curves of the spine and find length from tailbone to crown. Good. And then from here, if you'd like, start to walk those hands forward. You can stay up on your fingertops, or you can put the palms all the way down, extending through the arms, shoulder height or a little wider. And then coming down spine in one line, just like a downward facing dog, right? Just sort of a wide, slightly wide arms and very wide legs, downward facing dog with a really long spine. Tailbone extending away from crown. And let the heart space melt down towards the floor, especially right between the shoulder blades. Let it melt down. Long spine. Take the left hand under you and across to the right ankle for a little bit of a twist as the right arm continues to extend. And then release and take the twist in the other direction. So right hand to the left outer calf or ankle, left arm extending. And then come back to center. And then slowly walk the hands back. Find that flat back. Hands to the hips. Press into the feet. Inhale and come on up. Really nicely done. Heel toe or jump the feet together. And just stepping through the feet a little bit. Little massage for the soles of the feet, the ankles. A slow little prance. Just feel that sense of earth connection. Mutsav Artsa. And then we're going to come to the floor. And lay it down on the back. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Hands to the low ribs. Let the earth hold you. Just surrender the back body, the weight of the back body, the skin of the back body to your mat, to the earth. And then we can feel, we can begin to attune in this plane to the length of the spine and continue to think about the tailbone moving in one direction while the crown extends in the other direction, right? So we can access this idea of Mutsav Artsa, Magia Shamaima, right, in any plane. And I think that's something that we can really take with us throughout our 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 day and our week and our life of movement. Where's my spine? How's my spine oriented? Standing, sitting, lying, right? I'm going to do just a little bit of spinal movement for the low back, a little bit of pelvic tilt. If you'd like, you can take thumbs to the base of the rib cage and fingers to the bones of the hips to just feel this a little bit. So inhale here in a neutral spine. And then exhale, belly to spine, Curl the pelvis and press the whole lower back from the base of the rib cage down to the floor. And then inhale and come back to neutral, right? So neutral is where you feel the back of the hips quite strongly to the floor, but there's a lift. The curve comes up towards the front body, right? And you could sort of place your hand under, right? It's not, the back isn't fully pressed to the floor in neutral. You're maintaining the curvature of the spine. So once again, inhaling here in neutral. And then exhale, draw the navel toward the spine, press the low back to the floor, tailbone is curling up. Complete that exhale. And then inhale, come back to neutral. So let's keep going with this. The inhale is through the nose, and the exhale, you could make it through the mouth as a shh or a but something to kind of give some resistance to it and help you really press that spine in. So here we go, inhaling through the nose. That whole thing was my exhale, and then inhaling through the nose and exhaling. All the way till you get to the end of it, and then inhaling again. Okay, so a few times like this in your own breath. This is a wonderful exercise to do at any time, and especially if you're having any lower back aggravation. Just drop to the floor, do a set of 5 or 10 of these. It's really so good for your breath, for your spine. And then coming back to that neutral spine, we're going to do just a little bit of abs for a second in the following way. Bring the knees up with the shins parallel to the ceiling. Take the arms out at shoulder height. So we're going to inhale here. We're going to corset the ribs in, really protect the low back, the core here. And then as we exhale, knees come slightly over to the right. The knees are together. You can decide how much you're coming over. Inhale, center. And exhale, knees slightly over to the left. So feel the obliques work, those muscles, sides that wrap across. Inhaling center and exhaling side, back and forth. Doesn't have to be much, just until you feel a little something, no resistance. And then next time we come down to the right, we're going to bring the knees all the way down for a twist. Ground that left shoulder. You can place a block or blanket between the knees or lower legs if you'd like. And then inhale back through center. And we'll exhale that twist over to the left. Just really completing the movements for our spine today, grounding through that right shoulder. When you're ready, coming back to the center, giving the knees a hug, maybe even drawing the forehead toward the knees, curling it all in, releasing the head down. Take any final movements that you need before settling into stillness. And then when you are ready, you can set up for quiet. So a few suggestions. You can use the blanket to cover you, or you can use it under the back of your head. Or you could take it and roll up the blanket for a jelly roll under your knees, or take the blocks as I'm doing under my knees. Give a little lift. So just extending the body, let the palms turn to face up toward the sky. Tuck your shoulder blades under you. If it's aggravating to your low back to have the legs extended, of course, bend the knees, or maybe you want to rest onto one side. And then once you have gotten yourself to a comfortable spot, just cease from any fidgeting or movement. Just surrender. Be still. There's no where you have to be and nothing that you have to do right now. Just allowing the efforts of your practice to settle into the nervous system. We inhabit this very place. We enter into intimate relationship with it. We inhabit the most basic elements of our present tense reality, breath and our body, and we fill these things with consciousness until they glow, until they become vibrant, radiant. And begin to deepen the breath, coming back to the space, back to your body. And take your time, rolling over to one side and coming up to a comfortable seat. And when you arrive, reestablishing once again the sense of Utsav Artsa, grounded down, rooted down, the Rosho Magya Hashemaima, sense of the crown extending upward. We can bring this intention with us throughout the week. We close by sending the fruits of our practice outward toward the world, right? We don't hold on for ourselves. We send good wishes, chesed, love, out. And so we'll close as we have been doing these 5 weeks with a prayer for the chatufim, for those held captive, the hostages, that they be freed. Achenu kol b'nei Israel. So feel free to sing along with me or just listen. Jet will put the words up on the screen. They're in Hebrew and also in transliteration. Achenu kol beit Israel. Achenu kol beit Israel. הנתונים בצרה, בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם, ירחם עליהם, ויוציאם מצרה, לרווחה, ומאפלה לאורה, ומשעבוד לגאולה, השתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. השתה בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן. May they be returned safely and in health. Thank you all for practicing today. Shavua Tov.